So I want to welcome everyone back from their Thanksgiving holiday. It's great to have you here at the press briefing. We have Councilmember Claycomb that has assured me that she is ready to step in at a moment's notice if I can't make it through this press conference without coughing and hacking and going into some kind of convulsions. I'm 2 weeks into some kind of virus, and it's not been a lot of fun. But my wife is very understanding because I'm such a really good patient. But we've got a lot to cover today, and one of the first things we want to cover is the Christmas tree lighting. And so it's not a great time of year to have any kind of virus because we're kicking that off this Sunday, December 2nd, in Old Town Square at 6 p.m., and we would love to have everyone out for that event. I have it under good word that Santa's probably going to make an appearance to that. We'll have lights on the river that will kick off the Sunday festivities at 4 p.m. at the Wichita Boathouse. Trolleys will run back and forth like they have in previous years. The lights on the river are a fundraiser for Wichita Clean Streams, which aims to improve and protect the water quality in the lower Arkansas River. And so we would hope that people will participate. And then you can join us for the finale of fireworks on the river at 7:30 that evening. So it's going to be a great opportunity to truly kick off the Christmas season with lights on the river, the tree lighting, maybe a visit by Santa, and then fireworks on the river. And encourage all of the families to come down and join us. And I really like that setting in Old Town for the tree lighting. I think it's just an outstanding place for us to do that. Next item that we want to share with you today is something that's really important to Wichitans because we have an incredibly caring and giving community, and that's what's up on the board there. And it's real change, not spare change. So the holiday season of giving is here. We often turn our thoughts to those that are less fortunate in our community. And the spirit of giving is so special and commendable to all of those that share. But we have some concerns. We want to see someone on a street corner asking for change. We often move to give them. But our homeless outreach team, along with our partners at Union Rescue Mission, want to educate the public about better ways to give. And again, we want to care for those that are in need and are less fortunate, but we want to cover some opportunities that we believe are a better way to give. So often pedestrians on street corners asking for money pose a safety risk for themselves and others. And so we're launching Real Change, Not Spare Change campaign. We have over 20 signs across the community urging people to give real change, not spare change. These signs are being put up in high traffic areas to bring awareness to pedestrian safety and the unsafe stopping of vehicles on roadways. This is just phase one. Additional signs may be installed at other locations. Giving spare change to pedestrians in traffic, unfortunately, often doesn't help address homelessness, but does pose a safety risk to the individuals asking for money. So instead of having that unsafe condition, there are other great ways to give, and we're going to share those with you. And the first person we're going to bring up is Denny Bender with Union Rescue Mission, and Denny's going to share how we can make it a more giving season and a safer season. Denny, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mayor, and it's a privilege to be here on behalf of the Union Rescue Mission and the many other organizations in Wichita that are providing services to those experiencing homelessness. My deepest apologies for not being respectful.
I can answer that for you.
And what we're about is really an education program. The Union Rescue Mission, back in the spring, decided to take on this challenge of helping the Wichita public understand the best way that they could help address the need that exists for people experiencing homelessness. And we came up with a campaign, Real Change, Not Spare Change, and had some billboards and some other media to remind the community. And now the city has embraced this concept, and we're really delighted that there will be reminders to the public that there are better ways to provide services and help to those individuals who are truly in need. We created a consumer brochure to explain the program. And there's a picture of an individual with a cardboard sign saying, "You're not helping." And that's really the point. By handing out $1 or $2 to an individual on a street corner with a sign asking for help, it's probably the least productive way to help that individual change their circumstances. In fact, the majority of them will use it to sustain a lifestyle, not a healthy lifestyle generally. And the way that you can really make a change is to support those agencies like the Union Rescue Mission, like Salvation Army, like Open Door and Catholic Charities, Interfaith Ministries, who have ongoing programs that help transform lives and get individuals who are struggling back on a constructive path. So the one thing I can guarantee is that if an individual hands $1 or $2 to someone on a street corner with a cardboard sign, the one thing you can count on, they're probably going to be back there tomorrow asking for another $1 or $2. So please support those homeless service agencies in Wichita. That's the best way to address homelessness.
Denny, thank you. Denny, thank you, and all of those volunteers that assist you in your mission. We certainly appreciate the work that you do to truly help people find a better life, and truly is a great way. And so I love this Real Change, Not Spare Change, and making a difference. So along with Union Rescue Mission, and Denny was able to name several of them, there are 21 other nonprofits who fight homelessness through transitional housing, meal service, education, and so much more. So our homeless outreach team has won an award for their work that's been used as a model in many other communities. In the past 5 years, they've helped over 900 people move into permanent housing or transitional housing, reunited over 600 people with their family, and helped over 500 others receive shelter. Because of how well our city helps homeless populations, we often see sometimes an influx of others when word gets out of the great work that we do and the giving community that we have. And we're willing, again, to step up to that challenge, but we need your help to do that. So we can together work to end homelessness instead of just treating the symptoms, and we believe that this campaign will help do that. So Denny, thank you very much for being here and sharing your message, and all of those other agencies that do such great work. Anything I missed? So we have the next item is something that's pretty special, and we have a guest here that's going to talk about that, and it's the Horizontes. So it's giving in a way different way to our community. And so this great cause is deserving of our help and recognition. So with me today is Armando Meneres. He's the director and curator of the Horizontes project located at Beechner Grain Elevator on North Wichita. The mural is being submitted to the Guinness Book of World Records as the largest mural painted by a single artist. At over 50,000 feet, the mural depicts a colorful and diverse array of individuals representing the people of the North End. But the group needs our help still, and Armando is going to tell us how we can help this project. So you want to share with us?
Absolutely, thank you. Okay, good morning, everyone. Ooh, just move your thing. Yeah, thank you for being here today. I am the project director and curator for Horizontes projects, and we are so excited to finally let people know that we are officially pursuing a Guinness World Record for the largest acrylic mural by a single artist in the world. That wasn't our intention when we started this project, really. The artist that we commissioned, Gleo, she was familiar with the current world record, and after I sent her some preliminary measurements for logistical reasons, she did her very rudimentary math and figured out that we can in fact easily break the record, the current record, so we decided to pursue it. The Project Horizontes is more than just this mural. In fact, I've curated 20 murals throughout the North End, located around Dunbar Theater, the Nomar Theater, Evergreen, and on 13th Street. And in this project, in the last 18 months, we have hired over 20 artists, most of them living and working in Wichita. There's been almost 50 people that have been hired through this project that we have given jobs in the community through this project. So this shows you that the power of the arts, and it's not just beautifying neighborhoods in our city, but it's really, it provides economic opportunity for people that live right here. It provides opportunities for people to get a job and to thrive and continue to live a prosperous, healthy life. And so this project means a lot to us, and it's going to mean a lot to this community. We want the world to know that great things do come from Kansas, and this is an example of the beautiful things that happen here. The weather has been pretty intense since October. Even though we were breaking a world record, the rain in October broke a record, the most rain in 100 years, the most snow accumulation in 100 years, which led to our paint, going to the location and paint being frozen, the machines can't start, etc. So that has created a lot of delays in the project. Originally, we wanted to finish in the first couple of weeks in November. We still have a couple more weeks left to go, and I'm sure there's going to be probably more snow in the forecast. It is Kansas, and it is almost December. So all of this has resulted in a lot of extra expenses for the project. And, renting machinery, the cranes that go up 100 feet are really expensive. The paint itself is really expensive because we want this mural to last for a very long time. So we're using top quality paint. And, we still have to continue to hire assistants for longer than we had anticipated. So we have a crowdfunding campaign online inviting people to support. We have almost 200 supporters already. We have reached our $15,000 goal. However, we still have 4 days left in the campaign, and we want to continue to encourage people to donate. You can go online, you can visit our social media, our website, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and find the link to donate. We also want to match the $15,000 with corporate sponsorships. And so we encourage local businesses and companies to also support the project financially. And finally, we do have an event this Saturday, December 1st at Wave. It's a new music venue downtown. That is a fundraiser, a benefit concert for the project. All the proceeds from the door, from the art auction, there's over 20 artists donating original artwork. We're doing a silent auction. And there's also a pig roast. Local celebrity chef Stephanie Hand is doing a pig roast, like literally a whole pig will be roasted at Wave. It's going to be a beautiful sight. There are also vegan options for those that don't consume meat. And all the proceeds will go toward the project. So we encourage people to stop by. It's this Saturday, starting, doors open at 5:30. Music starts at 6, and it's going to go until 2 a.m. when all the bars close downtown. And we encourage everyone to stop by, to bid on the art, to buy a plate of food, and to continue to support the project. And I believe that's it. Again, a huge thank you to our sponsors. That event is put together and supported by Harvest Arts, Spirit Air Systems, and by Cargill. So again, to all the local companies that want to support the project financially, as well as individuals that have the capacity to do so, visit our website, talk to me, go to our event this Friday. We still need to raise a little more money to cover all the expenses, the extra expenses. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Armando. So as you can tell, this is truly a awesome project that's going to turn a really drab space into something special that our community can celebrate. We know we're a community that is an incredibly giving community, but we're also a community that celebrates its diversity, and so we appreciate that. And we're a better community because of it. So appreciate what you're doing and the effort, and we hope that we can get more people behind you. So next item I want to cover is the baseball stadium. If you have not been down to, there's some more pictures. We'll leave that picture there. If you haven't been down to the Lawrence Newmont Stadium site, you're going to be in for a little bit of a shock. There's not much stadium there. And I don't know that I can substantiate all of this, but I heard that most of that stadium came down with one swing of the sledgehammer by Cindy Claycomb. Certainly there wasn't a lot of resistance when that stadium started coming down. One of the things that we found out, and we knew some of this because initially we were looking at doing a major remodel at that stadium, and did some extensive testing and found that the concrete was in such shape that we could not build on it. And so the stadium, literally when it came down, we found out that there was no reinforcement of any kind in any of the concrete. So there must have been a bit of a steel shortage back in the 30s because they didn't use any rebar or any steel or any reinforcement in any of that concrete that was out there at the stadium. So it certainly came down, but what we're here to announce today is this next Tuesday on the council agenda item, there will be an item there to approve the design build team that's going to truly take that ground and turn it into something quite magnificent. So as part of the selection process, we had council members Jeff Blueball, council member Cindy Claycomb, 3 members of the baseball team itself, Lou Schweckheimer, Jordan Kobritz, and Matt White, that helped us reach this conclusion. And the recommendation that's going forward on Tuesday to the council is the design build team that consists of local firms J.E. Dunn, EB Construction, Schaefer, Johnson, Cox and Fry, the DLR group, and PEC is the engineering group. So we're thrilled to use these local firms and what they're going to do to build something quite spectacular on that site. And more importantly, they're going to reinvest in our city and bring their talents at the local and regional level and put it on the national stage. The team was impressed with the proposed process and vision, as well as their dedication to complete the project on time and within our budget. So ballparks all over the country are consistently seems to be over budget and months late, but we have a dedicated group that's not going to allow that to happen. So it's a great team. We're looking forward to their group coming together, and a reminder that a big portion of this project was funded by STAR bonds. So thank you again to our partners at the state. Without the state's help on this, we wouldn't be building a stadium. And as Councilmember Meissner walked in, he knows that fully, all of the times we had to travel to Topeka to ensure that we had those opportunities available to us. So here to speak on behalf of that extensive team that I mentioned is Joe Johnson from Schaefer, Johnson, Cox, and Fry. And Joe, I'm just going to invite you up to share a little bit from the design build team's perspective. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to take a moment and recognize a special person, the president of our firm, Shannon Bohm. And we're just so excited to be here. Our design build team, as Jeff talked about, consisting of J.E. Dunn and EB Construction Companies. Very important. They will be the lead on the project. Associating with us is DLR Group in architectural, and PEC, which will be providing all the engineering right here in Wichita, and we're very, very happy about that. And we are pleased to be recommended to the council. Jeff keeps reminding me, I heard him just say that this is not a done deal until Tuesday, and we're just happy to be involved in the process to create a forward-thinking special venue for Wichita and the visitors that will come here to view our stadium and all the things that will take place within it. Our collective team has the expertise of proven record of cost control and meeting deadlines that are very important. As this, I think you mentioned, Jeff, this deadline is very, very strict, and it has to be done at a certain date. And we appreciate the opportunity to continue to help with the momentum that's been created here in Wichita. And we think this is just one more project that will add to it. We look forward to the city council meeting on Tuesday and being selected. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Joe. So truly a transformational project that's going to be a catalyst for Wichita for generations to come. Looking forward to this awesome team that we're recommending that we'll get to vote on Tuesday, and it's going to be exciting. It's going to be. We've been already working our way through some of the details with the help of the team, and so it's going to be fast-moving and exciting project. Keep the noise down here, guys. And looking forward to what this next year holds. So, Joe, thank you, and thank you to your team. As I've been joined by these noisy bunch of mascots, we're going to announce City Kids Crew. So one final thing. Registration is now open for kids 12 and under in Wichita, Kansas, between now and December 8th. Kids who sign up for our City Crew will receive 2 tickets to the December 29th Thunder hockey game. City Crew members get invited to exclusive events held throughout the Wichita, such as barbecues, pool parties, ice skating, and so much more. And they get to hang out with these mascots, Barry, Justice, and Sparky. How cool is that? So if you're 12 or under, sign up for free Thunder tickets and hang out with these 3 great mascots. Did I miss anything? Anything to add? Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Glad I'm not scared of mascots. Thank you, Sparky. All right. Are you sticking around to answer questions? All right, here, share all your wisdom. That's awesome. You're my favorite too. Thank you. We have great people in this community. And at that point, we will open it up for questions that you might have for any of the folks that have shared with us today.
I have a question about the baseball.
Okay.
When it comes to the submitting of the design, and then when it comes to the submitting of the design and then building, when will both of those things possibly start?
So they're starting now. And so we're working our way through the process. We have a kind of a calendar of events that the design build team has put together already that includes locating the exact place that home plate will set by December the 19th. So by December the 19th, we will know exactly where home plate is going to be positioned on that site. And from there, it's a pretty aggressive timeline that includes potentially having the start of footings going into the ground as early as February or late February. There's a lot of steps that are made up for this process that includes not only getting the design to the stage where the team can order steel and materials and all of those things that take considerable time, but it's an aggressive timeline that this team that we've chosen to design build it have given us a tremendous amount of confidence that they can meet the challenge. And it's not a challenge that every design build team can meet around the country. It really takes a special group of people to be able to step up to this challenge. We're trying to play our first baseball game in the spring of 2020. That's a very aggressive plan when you have to do a number of things that include we're required to play on natural grass now. And so we have to have the grass not only established, but planted and established that will hold a baseball game by the spring. And so that's going to require extensive planning and having that field in place by maybe as early as October of next year, so that it can be fully established to play on. And there's a lot when you're talking about playing on natural grass on a AAA baseball field. The base has to be placed in there in such a way that's going to ensure that the drainage is proper, that the grass is going to be able to take hold. And that's going to be one of the critical components as we work our way through the schedule. But there's a lot to accomplish, but we think that we will get there, and we have a team that believes that they can get us there as well as anyone in the country. And so we have full confidence in them.
Could we go into, and maybe I've missed something, but could you give me a little bit of the backstory on the criteria used to pick who we've got and who we're using?
So again, we had a team of myself, 2 council members, and 3 people from the actual baseball team that went through a series of interviews with through the RFP process that we set forward. We ultimately ended up with 3 teams, 3 design-build teams that presented their proposals to build this new stadium. And in that selection criteria, obviously it was teams that, 1, could build it in a timely fashion, 2, could ensure so that they could stay under the budget that we've set of $75 million to build the stadium. And then 3, the one that could be very innovative and capture what we believe would be something that would be a substantial centerpiece for the community for generations to come. And so as we worked our way through that, we had some great ideas. This group will have some renderings very, very soon, and we'll share those when we get to that point. But we're going to have fairly substantial design done to be able to put the footings in the ground. So we should have some. Don't want to put them on the spot, but when do you think you'll have maybe better renderings of the stadium? By January, February, certainly. And so we'll continue to update the community as we work our way through this process, and excited about transforming that whole river corridor. As you heard a few weeks ago, there's another group of local investors that want to transform the River Village, baseball village that sits just outside of that complex. There's some other development that will occur around the baseball stadium itself. And so it's truly going to transform this community in a way that we haven't seen for many, many decades.
Mayor, this question is for you or Joe. I know it's early in the process, but are there any ballparks that maybe have recently been built or are being built right now that you can point to and say, that's kind of something similar to what we want to do?
So the nice thing about where we're at in recent history of ballparks being built around the country is we have the benefit of seeing what they've done, talking to some of their owners and teams, and learning what's worked really well and learning what hasn't worked so well, and some of the design components that they wish now that maybe they would have not incorporated into the stadium. And so we've been going around looking at sites, gathering some of that information. There's several great ballparks that have been built over the last 10 years. And I've referred to this one before. We're going to have components of the BB&T ballpark that sits in Charlotte. It's a really awesome, in fact, it was voted as the best AAA baseball site in the country and for overall fan experience and team experience. And so there are some awesome components to that site that we want to incorporate into ours, but they admittedly would have changed a few things. And they shared with us some of those hiccups that they had in the design portion of that. And so we're going to be able to learn from, don't want to say their mistakes, but, learn from some of the decisions that they made that they wish they could have done differently. And we, quite honestly, after seeing some of it, agree with them. And so we'll be able to do some of that. There's some other components from some other stadiums around the country that we also looked at, the stadium in Raleigh, the stadium in Indianapolis. It's going to be an incredibly different fan experience at this stadium. And one of the reasons that we also chose this design team is they came up with some pretty innovative ways to incorporate some site views into the stadium that some of the other design build teams didn't think of, that we think are going to be pretty spectacular. I think when you walk up to the stadium, it's going to be a wow moment. And so that's some of the things that we were looking at.
Lastly here, just assuming that the team isn't going to keep its name, which I think you've said that before, is there any timeline yet, again, early in the process, but is there any timeline for when a name might be chosen, and will the public be involved in that process?
So the public will be involved in that process because the team wants the public involved. That process will be organized by the team itself. They have a website that they are finishing up, that they're almost ready to launch. And their goal is to have something substantial that this community truly is going to fall in love with, and they want the community to be a part of it all along the way. And so part of that embracing the community will be figuring out the naming of the team. And so they'll incorporate that into somehow how they decide to roll out that project in their way, whether it's through their new website they're getting ready to launch, but they have a website that they're going to launch for the Wichita baseball team. They have already started developing a logo that's separate from any team name, and some other work that they've been doing. So to give you some idea, because this is really a substantial change from what we've experienced for a long time. The team that we've been fortunate to keep baseball alive was an independent team that only had about 6 full-time employees. This new team has over 40 full-time employees and 300 seasonal employees. Kind of gives you a different perspective of the organizations and the product that they're going to be sharing with our community. And so they have an incredible large group of folks that are already excited about doing everything from marketing to sales to organizing all of the baseball side of what needs to be done. And it's they have a very professional group of people that's excited about bringing AAA baseball to Wichita. They literally fell in love with our community. And that's part of the excitement, looking forward to their extensive baseball team with all of their personnel and jumping into this community and figuring out exactly those things like what should be the name of the team. Anything else? We're good? Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. Armando, thank you. Appreciate you.